Hey guys, welcome to Jadestone Tarot. Today we're going to be doing a full moon reading for each of the zodiac signs. This is going to be for the full moon in Taurus. It's also going to be a partial lunar eclipse, and it's going to be at Taurus at 27 degrees. So before we get into this reading, I did just kind of want to talk about the transit and tell you guys what is going on, what the hell you can expect, because it is a partial eclipse, partial lunar eclipse, and it's going to be intense, okay? The energy is going to be definitely heightened. Full moon's already pretty intense, so now that it's a partial lunar eclipse, we're approaching eclipse season. It's gonna be a spicy time. It's gonna be an interesting time. So I did just kind of want to talk about the transit. I also wanted to kind of go a little bit deeper into the ascendant, right? Your rising sign. And not everyone knows their rising sign. You have to have your exact date of birth, the exact time you were born, right? So not everybody has that, unfortunately, but you can still check out your placements. May resonate, but this is just to be a little bit more specific. All right, so we'll get into that after, but I do want to just kind of talk about like the general themes that we may see come up during this time. Also keep in mind, we are approaching eclipse season, and the nodes, the south and north node that are currently in Gemini, Sag, they're going to be swapping to Taurus and Scorpio for the next 2 years. So it's going to be like a whole new kind of cycle and lessons to be learned for the collective. So it's going to be a pretty interesting time, some themes coming up. So that's kind of coming into the new year of 2022. Can you guys believe it? Like, whoa, this year is almost over. Like, what the fuck? Like, time's gone by slow, but also fast. It's just like a mind fuck. Like, time is just like warped. I don't even know, you guys. Daylight savings got me fucked up as well. It's like dark by like 4 o'clock. I'm like, wow. Like, I feel like the day just started and now it's over. Okay, guess I'm going back to sleep. Anyways, so let's get into this. I'm going to talk about just kind of like the general themes, and then we're going to go into each of the zodiac signs. I'm going to talk about the general themes. I do have notes here. I don't have it all memorized in my brain. There ain't no fucking way. But we're going to talk about the themes, then we'll pull some cards. And yeah, so this is a partial lunar eclipse at Taurus at 27 degrees. And this is just like about a time to get back to the basics, get back to what really matters the most to us. It's going to be highlighting our value system, where we put our energy, and is there a balance? Is there fairness? So since Taurus is ruled by Venus, right? Venus also rules Libra, and Libra is all about balance. So can you notice, like, it's all about the give and take? Wherever you're investing your time and energy, is there a balance? Are there some adjustments that are needed, that are required? Possibly. And this is about time. This is a time to let go of what's no longer working, what just simply you've outgrown, it's not good for you, it's negative, it's whatever is simply not working, and it's time to cut that shit out, okay? And that's going to be highlighted during this time. So powerful emotions are definitely being brought to the surface, and you may be coming through some sort of realizations about your feelings, about yourself, about someone you're dealing with, even things from your past that are bubbling up. And that's what I've noticed throughout some of these readings recently, is like things from the past, even like things that were like dead and done with, coming up. Cobwebs we didn't even know were there, coming up for us to get rid of. We are still in Scorpio season, right? This very transformative time. Anyway, so emotions are going to be highlighted. Full moons are normally really intense, but the fact that this is a partial lunar eclipse, eclipses are like energy on steroids, right? It's intense, it's crazy, people losing their fucking minds, howling at the moon. I'm just kidding, but stay safe, y'all. There's a lot of sickos out there. Anyways, so you may come to some sort of realization about your feelings, or you might actually get a lot more confirmation about even like your gut instinct, the vibes that you get, like certain dreams or messages that come through to you that you're kind of like, I don't know if I trust it. With this full moon, it will bring illumination to what's hidden, or like giving you confirmation, especially towards your intuition and hunches that you've had. You're going to get some confirmation regarding that. Now, the moon in Taurus is actually going to be opposing Mercury, which is still currently in Scorpio. And that actually could be helping us gaining a new perspective, a new point of view about how we feel, or about someone that we're dealing with. Is going to kind of unlock a new perspective that's going to help us understand what the fuck's happening here. And also with these things that are being brought to light, especially when it revolves around other people, it's really important that we practice self-discipline in how we react, right? Think before you react, think before you speak, right? That kind of energy. there may be the tendency to like lose your shit. It's important that we all stay grounded during these times. It's gonna be pretty crazy, pretty intense. So just stay tuned for that. Taurus, for my Taurus risings especially, y'all are probably going to be feeling this the most, it's going to be transiting your first house. So for my Taurus risings, right, the rising sign, your ascendant, that rules your first house. So let me read to you what's going to be highlighted. The first house actually represents like your body, your physical appearance, how you perceive yourself. This is kind of like your approach to life, okay? So you might actually be feeling a lot more sensitive than usual. And that's a good or bad thing, depending on depending on you and how you feel about emotions. You might be like super happy, you might be more in the feels. But it will be easier for you to express your emotions, your feelings, and also just kind of like being able to read the room and picking up on the vibes around you, people and where they're at, and like being able to kind of like maneuver your way through the energy quite well. Now, there is a tendency to make decisions based off like your emotions. So kind of making like a decision based from like your feelings, right? And so that can sometimes not be the best, right? Especially if they're like long-term decisions, it's probably best that you just hold off from any major life-changing decisions at this moment, unless you're 100% certain. But make sure it's not coming from a place of like impulsivity, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, and you might also be extra sensitive to criticism, right? Even if it's constructive, you still might be feeling a bit more sensitive to that. So just be mindful of that. You might be, you might overreact to certain things, or certain things that people say to you, you might be overreactive. So just again, this is a time for you to practice how you react, what you give your energy to. And also relationships with the mother could be highlighted, or some sort of feminine figure in your life might be highlighted, okay? So, and there's also kind of like, what did I have here? Identity issues could be reflected during this time. So if you have any like wounded identity issues or insecurities about how others perceive you, or how like you view yourself, maybe you're really critical about your appearance, or like you nitpick apart, and you maybe there's like a lot of insecurities, and that could be highlighted during this lunar eclipse. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, so things around that could be highlighted for you that you may need to release, that you may need to let go of. Okay, so that's kind of all I have written down for you. Is feeling more sensitive than usual, easier to express your emotions, and picking up the vibes around you. Tendency to make decisions based off our emotions, may feel more moody. Okay, so again, be mindful of that. If you're feeling a little bit moody, that's okay. Take it nice and easy. It's normal. It's a lunar eclipse. It's in your sign. Might be feeling extra sensitive to criticism or taking things personally, so just, you know, try to be aware of that. Identity issues are being reflected. First impressions and how people perceive you, and as well as relationship with a mother figure or a feminine figure of some sort could be highlighted during this time. So just, that is what I got for my Taurus risings, Taurus in the first house. That's kind of what's going on here with the moon. So, now that we got that out of the way, we're going to pull some cards. I'm going to move this. I'm actually going to stop recording, and I'm going to switch everything up. But that's what I got for you guys. So stay tuned and give me a second. Okay, so we're going to start with some animal messages. Just a couple of them. Get a vibe for where you guys are at, what you might be dealing with, what you might be feeling. We'll pull some tarot, and then we'll wrap it up with a fair message. Kind of the usual, but just more directed towards this lunar eclipse. So, any messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus? Any messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus regarding this lunar eclipse? What can they expect? Any insight, wisdom, guidance? Any messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus regarding this lunar eclipse? What's going on for Taurus? What do they feel? What do they need to know? Any insight, wisdom, guidance for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus? Alright. Messages, whoa, okay, nope. Nope. Messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus regarding this lunar eclipse. Any messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus? Oh, the frog. What did I tell ya? You guys feeling a lot more sensitive than usual. But that's not a bad thing. This is really just calling for you guys to let it out. Whatever emotions come up, good, bad, the ugly, let it out. Let it flow, let it go. Alright, let's see. What else? For Taurus, okay. Oh, the turtle, more water energy. And let's just get one more. real quick for Taurus regarding this lunar eclipse. Okay. The unicorn. Oh, I really like that energy a lot. And at the bottom, we do have the dragonfly. And the dragonfly does talk about your perspective. And notice that this is the alchemical symbol for water. And so your perspective on an emotional situation is definitely changing. And you are working through releasing and letting go of like any emotions that you've been bottling up or keeping to yourself. I kind of feel like you guys have been going through this alone, keeping your emotions to yourself, maybe not really telling people how you feel. And I feel like it's reaching a peak where you're going to have to release and let it out. Otherwise, it can become explosive. The longer you ignore your emotions, the more you suppress it, the more you just try to shove it under the rug, the more painful it's going to be, the more damage it's doing to you, and it's normally just going to make things a lot worse in the long run. So it's best that you just let yourself feel it and embrace whatever comes up than to just suppress it and ignore it. Because I almost feel like as if you guys are trying to like swim away, looking at this turtle, how he's like kind of swimming away from your problems. And it's like, Taurus, like you gotta face it head on. And it may be uncomfortable. And you may kind of get in your own way or wonder, are my feelings valid? Am I overthinking? Maybe I shouldn't feel this way. Or kind of like guilt tripping yourself, or not allowing yourself to fully feel these emotions that are coming up for a reason. I feel like as if you've been kind of just stuffing it under your shell. And some of you may have Cancerian placements. I just have to throw it out there because the turtle almost kind of gives like a Cancerian energy, just probably because of the shell, honestly. But just like I feel like you've been storing these emotions within you for a while, and so important that you guys learn to embrace it and express it rather than like biting your tongue or holding it back, especially if this is like something to do with another person and you're holding back from how you truly feel or what's on your mind, or if there's something that's bothering you. It's probably best that you face this discomfort and you speak up about what's on your mind. Also, your intuition is on point here. Maybe you have like this, like I said at the very beginning when we're talking about the astrology, if you have some sort of suspicion or you're waiting for some sort of confirmation here and your intuition's kind of been leading you onto a path, or some sort of thought that you've had or a gut feeling that you had, you may get some sort of like concrete confirmation that's gonna like cement like, okay, my intuition was right, I knew it. Like that's kind of what I feel from this unicorn energy, because this does rule your third eye. This is also the energy of spirit coming through, so I just want to remind you that you are always protected, you are never alone, and you are always guided by your angels, ancestors, and even your higher self. And so it's so important that you guys are paying attention to your intuition. As you know, with this eclipse energy and with this full moon, it does heighten our abilities, our intuition, our instincts. It is on point to a whole other level. So dreams are going to be more vivid, downloads come through that are going to be much more vivid, gut feelings are going to be on point. So just really pay attention to that, and also letting your emotions flow and letting them go instead of suppressing it, because when you suppress it, it's really just keeping that energy within you. It makes everything around you more stagnant. It affects everything. Major lessons are being learned here. The turtle is the energy of a teacher, so it's like you can learn from these experiences that you've gone through. Even if you've experienced some sort of loss, or you feel like you missed out on something, or you kind of have like some sort of regret, or just like this heaviness, kind of feeling Four of Cups energy from this, whether it comes out or not. But it's just like there's normally some sort of lesson or experience, even if it's just like a growing pain, right, to aid to your personal development. There's normally something that you can take from a situation, but it requires you to look at things differently and be open-minded to looking at the different possibilities, which is kind of like that dragonfly energy that was at the bottom. It's like there's an emotional situation, but you're able to look at things differently, and seeing things from a more clear perspective. And so that was kind of like the energy that we're having come up during this lunar eclipse in your sign, Taurus. So really interesting. We're going to pull a couple tarot messages, see what else is going on for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and then we'll pull some messages. So what's going on for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus during this eclipse energy? Partial lunar eclipse in Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What can they expect? Any messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus during this eclipse, partial lunar eclipse? Any messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus regarding this partial lunar eclipse for Taurus? What can they expect? Any insight, wisdom, guidance? Any messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus for the second half. Not second half. Okay, I guess maybe this is for the second half of November, but this is your eclipse full moon reading. Anything that they need to know or be aware of, mindful of? All right, messages for Taurus, Sun, Rising, Venus. Okay, look at this. We have the Seven of Pentacles. See, it's like you're kind of in this energy of like sitting and waiting. Maybe you've invested lots of time and energy into something and you're kind of feeling like disappointed or feeling like you're not good enough or wondering, when is my time coming? Wondering if something's like dead in the water or is there room for growth? Because we notice there's like a little skull over here and his face kind of looks like really upset. So it kind of falls into this frog energy. It's like you're looking at something, you invested all this time and energy, and yet you feel like nothing's happening. And that's been a message that's come through in like your readings recently. And yeah, let's just see what else needs to come out for Taurus, Sun, Rising, Venus. We also have the King of Wands, King of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, I love that. Okay. And at the bottom we have the Five of Pentacles. So this is kind of where you're at right now. The Queen of Cups, Four of Wands, and the Three of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. I do see that there's healing taking place. Three of Swords backside. You're looking at this is what you're working through releasing. This is what you're working through releasing, which brings space and room for new opportunities. We have the Chariot backside, leaving behind any instability or foundation that was not solid to begin with, leaving with your cup full and filled and replenished and healed, and just like really just surrendering and letting go to what did not work for you in the past, and moving. This is what you're moving towards. Look at how the Chariot, she's moving towards the Empress, which is your energy coming through. And underneath that we have the King of Cups, which we have the Queen over here, and now we have the King underneath these cards. So this is probably like way down the line, or maybe a few weeks, a few months, depending on where you're at. For those that are looking to connect with someone or deepen your current connection if you're already in one, or if you're willing or wanting to meet someone new, or one day you cross paths with someone, this is going to be in alignment 100%. I really like that a lot. So there's a lot going on here. We have some things regarding a relationship. We definitely have the energy of change with the Wheel of Fortune, and it's important that you guys don't let these delays or setbacks or fears or self-limiting beliefs hold you back from what you really, really want. This is kind of just like a little test to see like how bad do you want this. There's some things that you're needing to work through. There's some hurts, some pain, some woundings coming up, definitely around like, again, that image, that self-image, how you perceive yourself, and hurts that you've carried, beliefs that you've carried that have kept you stuck, maybe in a cycle all over and over and over and over and over, and you're becoming aware of something. You're looking at these pains and these wounds and these hurts that maybe you've kept suppressed in for such a long time, and now you're actually starting to ask yourself like, why? And that's the energy of the unicorn. Forgot to mention that, but you're really starting to dig deep and question your own truth, questioning your beliefs that you've always had, that you grew up with, that you were told as a young child. And now, as you are looking at these things, you're asking yourself, why do I feel this way? What if we looked at it like this? What if I changed my perspective? Like, you're starting to question everything around you. You're questioning yourself. And when you start changing your own beliefs and like how you view yourself, everything around you starts to change. So that makes sense why we have the Wheel of Fortune coming out. And I feel like this change could affect other people that are in your life. It's kind of like, I seen a post, I seen like a video about this like on Instagram. It's like when you start making changes in your own life, it affects those around you, because you're no longer playing the character that was in like your mother's life, your friend's life, your partner's life. Like you're changing the character that you were in their story. And so if you were the type of person to like drop everything to be there for someone, no matter what it was, 3 a.m, someone calls you, you answer, right? Maybe you had really weak boundaries, and now you're learning to establish strong boundaries and putting yourself first because you've let people walk all over you. This is just like an example. And now that you're putting boundaries down, that person calls you at 3 a.m. and you don't answer because you have your phone on Do Not Disturb, and you finally put yourself first, and that rest is important to have, and you got to take care of yourself first. Now your character is changing in their story, and it's affecting them. So by you putting yourself first, by you doing the work, by you like looking at these things that may need to change or adjust in your own personal life, it's also affecting everyone around you. It's kind of like a ripple effect. And so, yeah, we kind of start off in this energy of like, like doubting yourself, feeling not good enough, wondering what's the point, kind of being in your own head, feeling like a loss, or feeling just like stuck in some sort of way, maybe even feeling lonely or disconnected from those around you. And then you're having some sort of shift here, you're having some sort of change, and you're looking at things differently. You're identifying like the cause as to where these feelings stem from, and like you're making some sort of adjustment, you're making some sort of change, and you're actually coming out much more grounded in your emotions, much more in tune with your gut, with your feelings, and also recognizing how much power you have with your attitude and what you put your energy towards. And you're really focusing on filling your cup up first and taking care of your needs and your wellness, and like again, like you physically taking better care of yourself, getting more rest, eating well, getting some exercise, or like really focusing on like your health and your wellness. And as you do that, and as you start investing more time into those things that matter, right, instead of focusing on investing time, your energy into areas that are in balance, that where there's not a balance of give and receive, when you start focusing more on yourself, that starts to change everything. The shift starts to happen, and you're much more confident within yourself. It's not King of Pentacles, we do have that next. King of Wands, you're feeling more certain within yourself, you're feeling more creative, more inspired, like nothing can tell you no, nothing can get in your way, nothing can stop you from going after what you want. And even if someone says no, then you're going to go somewhere else where you are appreciated, where you are valued. And then we also have that King of Pentacles, which is your energy coming through, Taurus energy, where you're just feeling so much grounded, so much more in control and abundant, and just like feeling certain within yourself, and like not tolerating less than what you deserve. Like there is beautiful change going on here, Taurus, and it just requires you to look at some things, some hurts, some wounds, some beliefs that you carry, and what doesn't serve you, and releasing what doesn't work, right? And like even looking back at past experiences where you were hurt or even done wrong, your perspective is changing so much more. Like you're understanding why things have happened to you, and the lessons behind them, and how it's affected you, and how you can like grow and become a better person because of these experiences. So in a way, you're kind of grateful because now you're able to come out and you don't have to go through those experiences again. You know better now, and it's just really like finding your strength and finding your power again, and it's really, really beautiful. And then we also have this Four of Wands coming through, which is kind of like the 1111 cards. So some of you are really seeing a lot of synchronicities, which is just like a sign you are totally in alignment. That's like overall, whatever angel numbers you see, whether it's 111 or 222, 777, like I always see it. Like, yeah, sure, numerology wise, there's many different meanings behind it. I'm not really all that well expertise in that. I always just Google it. I always just Google angel number, insert angel number, right? But I always see like synchronicities as just like a form of confirmation. I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the right track. Like just keep going down the road that you're on. Don't worry. Everything's working out. It's just like kind of like a sign from your higher self. Like, yeah, you got this. You got this, okay? And I love this a lot. I really love this Four of Wands energy where you're feeling more supported, you're feeling appreciated. This is also a time to rest and recharge and take breaks when you need to, and just like be around your loved ones or those that support you and those that just uplift and give you that good energy. So with this full moon, this eclipse energy, so important that you do surround yourself with those that uplift you, and you allow yourself to cry and to let out your emotions, whatever you're feeling, get it out. Right? And if you don't have that, then great. That's amazing. Feel all the good shit that you're feeling. Whatever you gotta feel, right? Embrace it, the good and the bad. But there is a shift in your energy from focusing on like what you don't have and feeling like a loss and feeling like you're not good enough to like changing and be like, wait a damn minute. I have a say as to how I feel. I don't want to feel this way. I'm going to change my perspective. I'm going to start making adjustments in these areas that aren't working for me / aren't bringing me happiness or bringing me closer to my goals. I'm going to either make some adjustments or cut some shit out. Like whatever it is I got to do that's going to take me to a much more fulfilling time where there is lots of growth, where I'm no longer questioning my ability or my self-worth. Like it is just... damn, Taurus. So let's just see if there's anything like more specific. Like, what does Taurus need to release here? Should I pull a rebel card? kind of in that energy. It's like, maybe I'll pull a rebel card after this. What should Taurus release on this full moon? And Taurus, what does Taurus need to release? What does Taurus need to release on this full moon? Oh, false beliefs. false beliefs, false perspectives, mindsets, limitations, the way you perceive yourself. You need to cut that shit out because you have been getting in your own way. This is what you're needing to walk away from. On the top of the deck, we have the Eight of Cups. This is what you're needing to leave behind, right? Staying in situations that damage you more than actually doing good or helping you grow. What is that doing for you? It's like when you plant, you have like a plant, right? And it's like a little pot. It can only grow a certain size, and then it's like it's outgrown its environment. It's not going to get any bigger. It's just going to stay the same size. It might actually die. Maybe, I don't know. Depends on the plant, I guess. But normally it's like, okay, you need a bigger pot. You need to upscale. You need to get bigger, but you need to have the space for it. So this is about creating the space for it, making room in your life, removing anyone who has bad influence on you, as well as yourself. If you have a bad influence on yourself, if you're your worst critic, if you are hard on yourself, if you are telling yourself lies and like being your own worst enemy, it's time to cut that shit out. It is time to walk away from that. It is time to make those adjustments. And let's be realistic, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be an ongoing process, and there's going to be moments where you have setbacks. There's going to be moments where you fall back into old ways, where you you go backwards. But the most important thing, and to not beat yourself up when that happens, but to recognize, the sooner you recognize, the quicker you are to, reprogram your mind, you catch on to it, and that's when that change starts to happen. So like this change that you're going through, Taurus, it is over a period, right? It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen even within a week, not even within a month. It's going to be an ongoing process. It's going to require you to have self-awareness. Next time you fall into this mindset, or you beat yourself up, or you start talking badly to yourself, or you're surrounding yourself with people who are doing that to you and making you doubt yourself and all those things, that negativity, right? It is time for you to become aware of it so that you can make the change. Because if you aren't aware of it, then nothing's going to change. You're going to just stay in this repetitive loop over and over and over. We don't want that, right? So yeah, definitely your mindset is everything. I do feel like this is more within you, but of course there might be outside influences that are having this effect as well. That's also needing to change here, okay? So yeah, I actually do want to grab a rebel message to lighten the energy, because this is a little intense, you guys. Let's just get one. Let's just get one rebel message. It's been a minute since I used this deck, alright? Take this with a grain of salt, peace and love, right? It may call your ass out, it may not. Is there a rebel message for Taurus, summonizing Venus? For this eclipse, is there a rebel message for Taurus, summonizing Venus? Whoa, we got two. Alright, whatever you're thinking about, don't do it. Now is not the fucking time, okay? So like I said at the very beginning, I was like, if you have any like important decisions coming up, you may have the tendency to make like an emotional based decision, and like it's impulsive and you don't really think about it, and then it's just like, oh shit, why did I say that, or why did I do that? So it's just like, whatever you're thinking about doing, it probably should just hold off, and just, now is not the time. Now is not the fucking time, okay? We also have, stop fucking whining. Ooh, no one wants to listen to that shit. Complaining makes you weak. You have the strength to change your world, so do it. Don't forget the power that you carry, Taurus. There's moments where we forget. There's moments where we do feel weak, where we're wondering like, what the fuck's the point? And I feel like I'm getting nowhere, and I'm doubting myself, and I'm like really in my head, and I'm feeling so stuck and hurt and damaged and like, ugh, right? It's a shitty feeling, but also remember the power that you do have. Don't forget it. At any moment you can change your life, but it all comes down to you. If you want change, you can make the change. If you don't want change, well then nothing's gonna change, right? Everything's gonna be the same. I mean, no shit, right? So really it all comes down to you on what it is that you want. You do the same old shit, you're gonna have the same outcome. So Taurus, don't forget the power that you carry. If you want to keep on whining, cool, but whining doesn't pay the bills. Whining doesn't fix your problems. Of course, express it, feel it, vent to someone that you trust. But also, don't stay in that too long, okay? Because you got shit to do. You got things to do, you got a life to live, and you got good shit awaiting you down the line, but you gotta get yourself back up. You can't stay down for too long. You gotta pick yourself back up. You fall, you get back up. You fall, you get the fuck back up, Taurus. Okay? Oh my god, I'm like, kind of like in this funny energy, but I like it a lot. All right, so I'm gonna grab a fairy message to wrap this up for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Ooh, we have a collection of pixies, number 48. This actually just talks about what I just said. It's that your attitude does change everything. You can make any change at any given time, at any moment. You could change your fucking life for good or for worse. Your attitude has such an impact on the life that you live, your attitude, your outlook on life. That's kind of what's changing here, or like you're becoming aware of. At any moment, you could change your life. For better or for worse. You could say, fuck it, I'm quitting my job. Fuck it, I'm leaving that relationship. Or I'm gonna give this a relationship a chance. Or I'm gonna whatever, go back to school. Or I'm gonna rob a bank. I hope you don't do that. I'm just saying, at any given moment, you could change your life for better or for worse. We forget the power that we carry. We forget the power that we have because we feel so like limited and stuck and confined, especially due to circumstances, right? Money maybe is a problem. Maybe it's the place that you live. Maybe it's because of current restrictions, whatever the fuck. But to an extent, right? Yourself, your life, your actions, you do have control over that. You can't control the weather. No, sorry. It's still gonna snow whether you like it or not. So it's up to you. Are you going to dress warmly or are you going to dress in a t-shirt and shorts when there's like a foot of snow on the ground, right? I'm saying that because it just snowed recently here. You may not be able to control the circumstances, but you do have a choice and you do have control over yourself about how you're going to react to the situations around you. And so that is a lesson that's also being learned here, all right? You always have control over yourself, your thoughts, where you put your energy towards, okay? Just keep that in mind. And this card does talk about the needs that maybe you need some support from those around you, or an extra helping hand, or, you know, collaboration with others or friends, right? It may not be a one-person job, especially if you have been keeping these things to yourself. Maybe you're needing to open up to someone. Maybe you're needing to get a second opinion, or just like someone who will have a pat your back. What? Have a pat your back. Oh, you get me? But just having like a little extra support never hurt nobody. So you don't have to be a lone wolf. You don't have to go through this alone. Taurus, you got this. It's pretty interesting energy that you're in. I do hope that this reading helps you in any way, shape, or form. If it did, please let me know in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you guys are interested, you can follow me on my Instagram at Jadestone Tarot, and I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.